and welcome to What's to Eat with Gilbert and Tyree. Me llamo Tyree. Oh, where's Gilbert? ¿Dónde estás, mi esposo? Where's my husband? Well, why don't we get started with the video and then maybe I'll show you exactly where he is then. All right. This is a food and lifestyle channel that Gilbert and I created. Full disclosure, Gilbert has another channel called Dominican Green or Dominicane Verde, which is a gardening YouTube channel that he's had for about 2 years. So in keeping with that theme, today we are going to be processing some of the vegetables that he has harvested. I learned last year how to make spaghetti sauce and eggplant, parmesan, and all kinds of stuff because he grew all these different things, and I had to figure out what to do with them because he grows it and brings it, and then I have to figure out what to do with it. He just enjoys growing it. So there you have it. We are just back from being on vacation. We went the beginning of September, the first 15 days. We were celebrating my 60th birthday. Happy birthday to me. Feliz cumpleaños. And so we went to New Orleans, and we were there for 15 days. While we were in New Orleans, we took a 5-day cruise to Mexico and went to Cozumel and Progreso, which is in the Yucatan. And so then we came back. So before we left, he had harvested some things, and then we came back, he's harvested some things, and so I'm trying to kind of get most of this stuff together. And we are just now at the beginning of fall, so he's out in the process of moving some of his plants onto the sun porch and putting some of the plants and preparing to put them into the greenhouse. And a lot of stuff is going to end up in our living room, dining room over here, because that's where he puts a lot of that stuff. And so, we're just in kind of fall mode. So I decided, well, okay, I've got to do something with these. So let's see if we can make a tutorial of how I use his fresh grown vegetables and actually put together spaghetti sauce. Last year, excuse me, I was able to make about 5 or 6 different batches. The first batch was okay, but as you get better, you get better. So towards the end of the season, the last couple of batches of spaghetti sauce actually turned out really good. So, continuing with our video, here is the harvest that we recently made. We've got all kinds of stuff here. Got green peppers and tomatoes and some okra that we're just using the seeds because they were on the vine longer than they should have been. So he's going to use those for seeds for next year. We've got tomatillos. We've got tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes. And these are, I think he said, Cherokee tomatoes. And these are chocolate habanero peppers. And so he's actually selling those in his marketplace because I don't eat habanero peppers and neither does he. And we've got beets. And here's some carrots. And some more tomatoes. So basically I'm going to try to make tomato sauce. I did it last year and it turned out pretty good. These are eggplants. I think I mentioned that we had been on vacation, and so he didn't get to pull those off during the harvest time that he should have pulled them off, so he says they're not going to be good to eat, so he's just going to use them for the seeds for next year. But anyway, this is what we're starting with. And so the first thing I'm going to do, all of this has been rinsed except for these, because he just picked these. Pull the stems off and then rinse them. So let's get that together. Nothing like having fresh vegetables. Okay, pulling the stems off, and then I'm going to rinse these off because these are fresh out the garden. They still have dust on them, and okay, got that out. All right. Don't want to come out, but I'm going to get it out. Okay. That's all out. So, I'm going to take these, put them in my colander. And then we use this. Spray everything really good. That's showing you. See, spray it really good. Let it sit for a second. And then we're gonna kind of wash those off. Some hot water. This is our scraps container that we put everything in for compost, because we compost around here. And so this is a quick and easy way to be able to do that without messing up the kitchen. So we put all the stuff in there, and then later he takes it outside and puts it in our compost bin. Okay, so that's been soaking enough. I'm going to get a vegetable brush, and I'm going to clean that out. Just sit right so that you can see. But like I say, I'm new to this. All right, let's just turn the water on. Get some hot water going. Make sure it's clean. Yep. You can feel that there's no soot on it now. I got the soot off of it. And then we're going to get us some water on the stove, and we're going to blanch these tomatoes so that we can take the skin off. You live and learn. So we've got us some water on the stove. It's not a lot of water, just kind of halfway in there, and I'm getting that warm. And then we'll just kind of sit the tomatoes in there. And I think maybe we need a little more water. It needs to come up to about there. So I win the lottery and I redo this kitchen. I'm going to have me a pot filler over there by the stove. As soon as I win the lottery, redo this kitchen and get me a pot filler over there by the stove. Well, guess what? If I don't win the lottery, one day I'll just do it anyway. Tomatoes in there and pull the skin off of them. That's the easiest way to do that. And the utensil that I use to do that with is this. I take the tomatoes, put them in there, pull them out, then put them into another container, and it makes it easier to pull the skin off. Okay, So once that water gets warm, I'll come back and we'll start dunking tomatoes in there. Okay, I've got the water boiling and I've got the tomatoes that we cleaned. I'm gonna come over here to the stove. I'm gonna start dipping them in there to get the skins off. Now you notice I brought this other pan or bowl. This one I'm gonna put them in when I take them out of the hot water. This water's getting hot. I'm just gonna show this. And I got a bunch of tomatoes, so I'm gonna be doing tomatoes all week. And we got some tomatillos, so I need to get the food processor out and make some salsa verde. So I'm going to do that also. But this is the time of year that I get to process the food that my husband has been growing. And this is what we're doing. Going to let these sit in this hot water, which is not as hot as it should be yet. But it's good. And I'll show you in a minute when I go to pull them out. Okay, these have been in here for, I would say, almost a minute. If the water is hot, when you put them in there, you can see it doesn't have to be in there long. And I don't know if you can see, but it'll begin to wrinkle the skin. And when you see that skin wrinkling, that means it's almost time you can take them out. It doesn't take long if the water's hot. I'm gonna take this one out. I think I see some wrinkling of the skin. I'm taking them out and I'm putting them in this thing here, and that's going to help them still stay warm and kind of sweat each other, and it'll be easier when I go to pull the skins off. Make enough just to make this pot full of make tomato sauce in this pot. Okay, we've gotten our tomatoes out of the hot water, and as you can see how they start to wrinkle the skin. So that's how it's easier to peel it off that way. So I am sitting at the table because that's easier for my knees. And I've got another container here that I'm going to put the discarded skin in. I got a knife in case if I need one. And then just going to kind of pull this off. And it works better if I cut this center part out. And kind of cut down into where the seeds are inside there. I get that whole thing to come out. It makes it a lot better, see? Get that out. Then I can pull the skin the rest of the way off. And I'm just not in any rush. Okay, got that off. Got that off and got most of the seeds out. So I take that and throw that in there. And then this has a little blemish on it. So I'm going to cut that blemish off. Then this I'm going to just cut into smaller pieces because we're going to cook this down and use it to make the sauce. And then I kind of make sure there's no hard parts in here like this right here. That's kind of a hard part. I take that out. Sometimes there's like little woody portions you can feel, and I just take that out because I don't all the time cook all the way down, but the rest of it does. Okay, and then I'm going to take it and pop it into my bowl. Take the next one out. Same thing. Of tomatoes that I've taken all the skin off of and chopped some of the seeds out and got it ready. And those are 3 different kinds of tomatoes in there. We've got Roma tomatoes, we've got Cherokee tomatoes, and I forget the other kind. Last year we did beef steak tomatoes, so I don't know if it's beef steak. But anyway, that's all those tomatoes are in there. And I'm going to put that in the pot, but I need to cut up an onion and some green peppers. Now the onion came from the grocery store. We didn't grow the onion. But these 2 bell peppers came from our garden. And I've got a whole bowl of bell peppers over there. So I'm going to cut these up for seasoning in this sauce for tonight. And so I'm going to cut the peppers up and cut the onion up. I'm going to put them in the pot with a little olive oil to kind of sweat them out. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes, a little bit of water, and then some seasonings, not bell pepper, I'm trying to say a bay leaf and, some Italian seasoning. I think I got some. But if not, I'm just going to put some seasoning in there and season it up. And get it ready. There was a little bug. That's the only thing about fresh gardening that gets on my nerves is when he brings his stuff in from out there. He tries to rinse it off as best he can, but sometimes we get little gnats that come in the house with the bugs. Next year I'm going to buy him a table. I saw one, and it's you hook the hose to it, so then you can rinse all your vegetables and everything outside. And then we don't get those little natty gnats, because sometimes we do get those. But anyway, here nor there, I'm going to do these peppers. And I have to cut them so that I can keep the seeds, because I think he's still keeping seeds. I think he is. I never know when he's keeping seeds or not keeping seeds. So it's easier for me to just cut it and give him the seeds, and if he wants to keep them, he keeps them. If he don't want to keep them, he don't. So I'm gonna get a napkin here to put this in where to keep these seeds, because he loves seeds. He enjoys, germinating everything from the seeds and bringing them to life from the seed level. And then he will sell some of the seedlings next year when he grows seedlings. People buy them from him. So I got to save these seeds, because these seeds are good as gold. Remember a time when I would just throw these out, but that was before I got married and realized I was married to a farmer. His inner farmer. Well, I think he's always kind of been a farmer, but when he immigrated here and got to this land that we got, and he was like, "You got 3 acres of land, you're not growing nothing." I'm like, "Well, I'm growing grass." I cut it every week, every other week if I can get away with it. That's growing enough for me. Well, didn't take him long, but we got a farm going out there. And let's see. I saved these seeds. I don't know if you were looking.
Thank you. That's why
Okay.
I don't want none of it.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted these. Okay,
I just forgot to tell you.
okay. I'm still recording. I'm just letting you know I saved the seeds because I wasn't sure.
For the business.
It's for the business. That's right, baby. Well, you got a bunch of seeds here. And I'm going to do those others tomorrow. I'll save the seeds because the others I'm just going to cut and put in freezer bags. Okay, so back to you all. You were wondering where he is. He's over there. I think we're going to run this real fast so that it won't take all day. So he knows how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I told y'all I'm still learning. You coming to say hello to the people?
Yeah. I got somebody working here. That's something good.
Yeah, well, I told you, I worked 34 years.
Yeah, he worked 34 years and he said that he's not going to work anymore. So apparently somebody's doing it. And you don't know behind the scenes, as you say?
Behind the scene.
This man, I just been laughing the whole day like crazy.
You've been laughing at me.
Yeah, if they never heard me, they would think something is happening to me. Because I've been laughing really loud because I see this man carrying the cell phone, the tripod, and everything, the station cord. And I said, well, somebody said not going to work anymore.
Well, this is a lot of work. It's more work than I thought it was going to be. This may be the last video I ever do.
Yeah, because you got like almost 3 hours trying to do all of this.
Well, because I've been taking breaks. What's wrong with that cat? Shut up.
Well, so you see,
He wants to be in attention.
You know he like that.
He liked attention. We talking, he got to talk. Anyway, see why I didn't call him into the screen? Because he came over here talking mess. Talking mess. Somebody working. Well, I tell him all the time I worked 34 years and got a pension. So that way, if I don't feel like working, I ain't got to. I don't work, he don't got to work. We both retired. We are living the good life. And I'm cutting them kind of, well, I think this is julienne, but then I'm going to cut them, dice them, because when they get, I want them to cook down, and then I don't want to have big chunks in the spaghetti sauce. And I think this will make enough for one pot of spaghetti, but I'm going to just freeze it. We're not going to use it. And that's the other thing about cooking them and freezing them. By the time you use it, the seasoning really does go through it. And it's really good when you pull it out to use it. Okay. And excuse me for sitting down, but I got 2 bad knees. Okay. I'm pretty sure we've edited a lot of this. And because this was taking too long. But I got this cut. The bell pepper is now cut. Cut into smaller pieces. I don't want really big pieces, so I kind of diced it, and then we're going to go put it in a pot and sweat it down with the onion. Here's the onion. You all know how to cut an onion, and no need of y'all watching me cry. So I'm going to cut the onion, and when I see you again, we'll be over at the stove ready to sweat the onion and sweat the bell peppers, and then put our tomatoes and start to boil our sauce. Quick 2-second break for you. It's been a few day break for us. A couple of things we've come to understand is that I'm not the best cinematographer around. Fortunately for all of us, my husband here is much better at working the GoPro than I am. So he's doing that for us today. And so where we left off, I had just put all the tomatoes in there and the bell peppers, and we were beginning to get it to boil. So it's working now. Those are all the tomatoes. And we're going to season this just a little bit. We're going to do it to taste. I put a little bit of water in there. And at the end, we may put some tomato paste in there just to thicken it back up if it gets too thin. I have no idea if this is a teaspoon, tablespoon, what have you. I'm going to taste it when we get done. I put that much garlic in there because I like garlic. We got some oregano. I don't want to shake the oregano in there. And you remember we already put onions and bell pepper, green bell pepper in there. There's the oregano. I'm going to put a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. Not a lot. And we're going to let that go for right now and continue to boil and cook down. And I've got some fresh basil that Gilbert picked out of the garden. And so I'm going to rinse that real good and chop it up and I already sprayed it. Oh, it smells so good. I sprayed it with this a couple of days ago. And I'm going to just rinse each of the leaves. Basil, straight out off of the plant. And when you pick it off the plant like that, it just smells so wonderful. Okay. The basil, and I'm kind of cutting the little stems off of this. I think I'm going to get like a cup or half a cup of this. Then the rest of it, I'm going to kind of pull the damaged leaves off, and then I'm just going to put it in a baggie and put it in the refrigerator until we use it later. Like that leaf there is kind of withering, so I'm pulling off. But look at these fresh basil leaves right out of our garden in the backyard. All you have to do is go pick them and use them. Okay, I'm going to keep these, and the rest of these, well, this one is kind of in this bag to kind of keep them fresh. And then later we can like pull them out and even dry some of them. Air fryer and what do you call that? Dehydrate them.
Yep.
And then we'll have basil to use later in the winter. But now I already got the sauce seasoned, starting to season. I'm going to put the rest of this basil chopped up in the sauce. And then I like meat sauce, so we got a pound of ground turkey that we're going to lightly season and put into the meat sauce. So that's the basil. I don't know if that's a half of a cup or a cup. I have no idea, but that looks like about the right amount. I noticed last year too, sometimes I would put like a can of tomato paste at the end to kind of thicken it up if it was, you know, too loose.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was because we used too much big steak tomato.
Last time.
Yeah, the big steak tomato are especially for, you know, sandwich, all this kind of stuff, because they are too kind of watery. But the Roma tomato, they are like pasty.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Okay. Well, we'll see when we get to the end. If it's two, we'll add some. If it's not, we don't have to.
But if you make juice with Roma tomato, I think you won't have to.
Okay. Yeah, well, we made this pot has 3 different kinds of tomatoes, which probably gives it a good flavor.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go put this in the sauce. We're adding our fresh basil. Turn that in. Fresh basil. And we've already seasoned this. And see, there has a bay leaf in there. I put a bay leaf in there. Okay, now I'm gonna make I'm gonna start browning some ground turkey because I like a little meat sauce. So I'll cover this back up. It's on a low simmer. And then I'm going to turn this on too. This is just water. Turn it on medium high. Just water for the noodles. Let me get some salt to put in there because you got to salt the water before you put your noodles in. And this is Himalayan pink salt because you want the water to be salty like the sea before you put your pasta in there. So I'm just putting 2/4, I don't know if these are 1/4 cups of salt, but that should be enough to kind of boil. And by the time the meat sauce is ready, we'll be ready to put our pasta in there. All right, I'm going to put this ground turkey in here. It's already thawed out, so it's not frozen. So we're just going to brown it. Okay, let me turkey. I kind of washed my hands because it's got a little turkey juice on there. So I'll wash my hands. Okay, I'm just going to brown this up. I'm not going to put a whole lot of seasoning because we already kind of seasoned the spaghetti sauce. I'm going to put Just a little garlic, because you can never go wrong with garlic. And a little paprika. And then on meat, I like this mesquite butter seasoning. I don't know, is that what it's called? But anyway, I'm gonna put a little of that. Okay, that should be enough. We don't need any salt because we already got salt in the water. Show them our seasoning.
I already did.
Oh, okay. That's what we use for the most part. We got other seasonings in the...
That's American thing. All this bottle, the kitchen stove. In Dominican Republic, what we do is buying the fresh thing, but that's fine.
That's all right. When I go to the DR later, after the beginning of the year, I'm bringing seasonings. Show them. I got seasonings right there.
Yeah.
I've been buying extra seasonings when we go to the store because I'm packing a whole bunch of seasonings in my suitcase.
And that's a Dominican thing. That's where we made the
Yeah, you make your seasonings.
seasoning over there. We
In here.
smash it.
And you mash it up. Yeah, I ain't got time for that. So, bringing my seasonings with me when I come to the alley. Okay, so this is how this goes. You see, it'll be brown. This is my little tool I use to smash it up. I'm gonna cover it, leave it on the low heat, and it will finish browning, and we're gonna put that in our sauce. And then we're almost ready to eat. Gilbert's gonna make us some garlic bread because he makes better garlic bread than I do. You got to go with your strengths. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true. I made it. I do better because what he does is he just buy it in the grocery store. And no, I made my own garlic bread. Thank you.
Okay. Our meat is browned. Browned enough. Yeah, it's brown. It's cooked. So I'm going to put it into the meat, into the spaghetti sauce. And then at that point, we'll make a decision at some point if we're going to put some tomato paste in here to kind of thicken the sauce. I think we probably do because I can see it's still a little loose for my taste. And that's what tomato paste is for. So I'm going to just spoon this in there. Okay. All right, now we got turkey. Incorporate that. We still have this on a kind of low heat, still simmering it. Oh, look at that. It's coming together. Oh, there's that little bay leaf. It's our seasoning. I'll let this continue to simmer. I think I'm going to leave it uncovered. See if we can get it to start cooking down a little bit. All right. Okay, so we did decide that we're going to put at least one can of tomato paste in here. Try to help thicken this up. And you can use any tomato paste you want and to thicken up so that you don't have to keep sitting here boiling it out all day till the water boils out. Just incorporate that and that kind of thickens it up. Ready, we ended up putting in 2 cans of tomato paste just to get it to the consistency that we want it without having to sit here the rest of the day and cook it down. So it's ready and seasoned. We're going to put our spaghetti in here. Cut for the sauce is done. We're going to put the spaghetti in here. The water's already been salted, and we're going to let this cook until it gets to be al dente, and we'll get back. Okay, some people rinse their pasta, some people don't. I rinse mine, but I do take some of the pasta water and set it aside for later. Gilbert's gonna rinse this for us. I'll turn the stove off. You sure you don't want these pot stickers? Okay, Alright, there's our pasta. You just sit the pot on there. Hey, don't eat it all. Okay. Rinse it with some water, the hot water then, just to kind of make sure there's no starch. And then you can put it back in here after it, because we got the pasta water if we want it. Okay, that's that. Now you can start making the garlic bread.
Bueno, sí, entonces aquí estamos. Vamos a preparar nuestro pan de ajo o garlic bread. Lo que yo voy a necesitar es orégano, que es algo que yo lo utilizo opcional. Por supuesto, el ajo, que si no, no se llamará pan de ajo. Y algo que le llaman deal with, no recuerdo bien el nombre en español. Okay, we're gonna make today the garlic bread. Because of course, we need garlic, because if not, we're not gonna call garlic bread. So oregano, that's optional. I really like to use that. And deal with. And we have the bread here. I really love this kind of bread. So I'm gonna cut the bread and I'm gonna make the things here. Oh, I forgot, we need the butter. Y olvidaba, aquí tenemos la mantequilla. Puede ser mantequilla con sal o mantequilla sin sal. Can be salty butter or unsalty butter. I like thicker pieces, so but you cut it how do you like it. Me gustan las piezas gorditas, así absorben mucho, pero eso depende ya como a usted le guste. Miren esto, este pan me encanta, de verdad que sí. Really love this bread. Ya tenemos el pan cortado, because we already cut our bread, so we're gonna make the mix for the garlic bread. Vamos a hacer la mezcla para la mantequilla de ajo. Gonna use that. I use a lot because Tyree and I would like a lot of this in the bread. So a little of oregano. Not too much, but Tyree don't really like a lot. A mí sí me gusta mucho el orégano, Tyree no. El ajo, por supuesto. Tiene que ser el sabor predominante. And deal with. Es algo que también nos gusta mucho. Pues entonces ahora vamos a derretir esto. So let's go melt this in the microwave. I gave it 30 seconds. Normally 30 seconds or between 30 seconds or 1 minute. So that's enough. Vamos a darle 30 segundos o 1 minuto en el microondas. Bueno, y voy a poner esto en la tostadora también para que se pongan un poco crujientes y así le vamos a añadir nuestra mantequilla de ajo. So let's put that in the toaster so it will be kind of warmer and crunchy. So we can put our meats. Bueno, y ya hemos dorado nuestros panes, o bueno, no, mi pan ahí le llamamos pan, en México le llaman virote. Well, our bread is already toasted. You can see it's changing color. So we're gonna put the meats now. Ahora vamos a ponerle la mezcla. Miren aquí nuestra mezcla de mantequilla y los sazones. That's our meats between butter and seasoning. So you can dip the thing if you want the bread here, or put it with the butter, with the spoon. Puedes poner el virote o el pan aquí si quieres, y así lo humedeces, o si no, lo pones con la cuchara. Yo lo voy a poner con la cuchara porque a veces cuando lo pones aquí así, se moja por fuera, pero no por dentro, o sea, como que no la absuelve. Sometimes when you put the bread like here, so it get wet, but it don't get inside wet. So that's what I decide to use the spoon. Y así lo voy haciendo. Y me encargo de que todas las partes estén bien mojaditas, bien humedecitas, que esté bien esponjosito con esta mezcla. Miren qué delicioso. El sazón está abajo. You have to move it because the seasoning is still the bottom. So you're gonna get all the seasoning in the bread. Una receta dominicana. That's how we do that in the Dominican Republic. So when I got here, Tyree gave me a store garlic bread. I was so surprised. I never see that in my life. Cuando yo llegué aquí por primera vez, este hombre me dio estos panes de sabor a ajo, pero de esos que venden en la tienda, en el supermercado. Que era nada más ponerlo en el microondas y ya. En aguas, water. Y ya ustedes saben. Así que miren qué bellos quedan, miren qué humedecitos, miren qué preciosos quedan. Así que ya estamos casi listos para comer. Entonces vamos a preparar ya nuestro plato. It's our plate. I eat a lot because that's one of my favorite meal food. So I will show you the best plate is Tyree one because the mine look like a mountain. Mountain. Le voy a enseñar el plato de Tyree porque el mío va a ser una montaña porque esta es una de mis comidas favoritas. Así que si le muestro el mío no se ve comercial. Ustedes saben cómo ponen esos platos con poca comida pero muy bonito. El mío no, el mío es una montaña. Así que vamos a presentarle el de Tyree y con ese se van a quedar. Bueno, y aquí vamos a poner la salsa. Let's put it our homemade sauce with organic tomato from the garden. Miren qué delicioso, miren qué rico. Read everything and for free because that was in the house. We wrote that. Miren, libre de pesticida, libre de todo. Y totalmente gratis porque esto fue cosechado en la casa. Simplemente me costó unos mesecitos y aquí está. Vamos a poner el queso parmesano. Parmesan cheese. Señores, y yo se lo dije que lo mío era mucho, miren. Así que, well, I told you before, I already told you that mine is a lot. So, miren, a ver, nuestra mesa, ya estamos listos para comer. We're ready to eat.
Salud. Say our blessing and then salud. We have homemade spaghetti sauce made with tomatoes, 3 different types of tomatoes from our garden, and fresh garlic toast, and some wine, Moscato, that a friend of mine in Kansas City, Missouri, we went to visit her and she blessed us with a bottle. So we're going to enjoy this bottle. Thank you very much to my friend V. All right, let's say our blessing and get to eating.